from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas. This is the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
By God.
Welcome in, everyone, as we start a brand new week together today.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, today, Pappy, December 7th.
Yeah.
Back in 1941, it's a day of infamy as declared by our president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Boom, boom, out go the lights.
Yep, and all of a sudden we were attacked by the forces of the Empire of Japan at Pearl Harbor.
Yep.
And thrust the United States into World War II.
And how'd that work out for the Japanese, by the way?
Well, evidently pretty good. We buy a lot of their cars. I don't know. Gee.
Bombed everything but the car factories over there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But hopefully things were learned. Evidently not that much because the U.S. kind of laid back on its heels. Then in 2001, we got attacked again, but on our homeland.
Mm-hmm.
And
that wasn't the Japanese, though.
Yeah, it wasn't the Japanese.
Nope.
But anyway, to all of those of you out there that may have lost someone, either at Pearl Harbor or in World War II,
or any war,
our condolences to you.
Yeah.
As we look back and remember on Pearl Harbor being bombed this date.
We appreciate and love the fact that your loved ones who served before us paid the price.
Paid the price and
God,
kept our
God
freedom
rest
going. And we must never forget that. Ever.
That's a fact.
Well, the voice, Pappy's a little weak today.
Yeah.
But,
I could have some fun with you today.
I hope everyone will bear with me as we go through our program today. And it's an interesting one. Actually, it's a second part of a program Pappy and I did early last week, about should President Trump concede the election.
In the comments we got.
And my goodness, I must have touched a nerve. Because even after the program, we got in over 100 more opinions.
We had, about 200-300 comments on this show?
We had a bunch of them. We surely did. So we decided to go back and revisit that since you guys have evidently, we touched a nerve, and you've got a lot of opinions, and some of you went at each other, but I must give you credit. You went about it in a respectful way. There was some words that were kind of borderline fence line, but I just left them as they were.
Yeah.
Because you listened to what we asked you to do, and I appreciate that more than ever.
There again, you guys rock.
Yeah, sure do.
God.
So today our topic is, should President Trump concede the election?
Part 2.
Part 2. That's exactly right.
Let's dive into it.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Mary Adams' children said, hell no. We all believe that he was cheated out of it. Some sorry lowlife stole my Trump flag. This is America, land of the free and home of the brave. What's wrong with people?
What the matter, you people, man? You damn Trump flag.
Stealing a Trump flag. Come on.
It had to be another Trump supporter.
Yeah, there's our mascot behind us.
You know a Democrat wouldn't steal a Trump flag. Lori Hanson Powers said no. Any fraud at all is fraud, and it should be null and void. Chad Cooper and Debbie Bird Childers, Charles Jew, and Al Davis all agreed by saying no to conceding.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And as you will see as we read these opinions that you sent in to us, a lot of you thought about the same thing, and there was some on the other side of the fence that we respect your opinion. We sure do, and we'll be reading those too. Yeah. Shirley Mills said, unfortunately, I think he should. We'll never be able to prove fraud against the Democrats. They're just too sneaky.
Shirley, you giving up the fight. My goodness.
Judy.
I know you was raised better than that. Twyla Richards disagreed with Shirley by saying it's all coming out, not just on social media, although I've seen it on Lou Dobbs.
I saw that very same thing, Twyla. Yeah. Timothy Pettit said no. I think they have the proof. Timothy Schmidneck then asked, where is it? There have been 35 courts thus far that have disagreed with you. I don't think there's been 35, Timothy, but I don't know that for sure, and you may. So if you are correct, I stand corrected.
And I stand corrected by saying there's some courts out there that has agreed. So, Twyla Richards then came back on Timothy by saying it's the media hiding the hearings. It is a part of socialism, communism, hiding the truth. Democrats have really screwed up America, but we still have a thread. I'm holding on to it. I will never accept a fraudulent win. That is no win at all. So,
yeah,
that's well said, Twyla.
Mark Traylor said, for all of you naysayers out there, more and more evidence is coming to light each day that show all of the fraud and corruption the Democrats did to get their man elected. If the Democratic judges hearing these cases can't see it, based on evidence and sworn testimony, then they are not doing the job they were appointed to do, and that is to uphold the law no matter who it is.
That's well said, Mark.
Yeah, very much.
Ginger Lynch, Johnny Northcutt, and Sabrina Monk Drasbing all said he should not concede this election to Joe Biden.
Well, I got to Sabrina apologize. Typo on my error. Sabrina Monk Drabing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's my fault. That's my fault. When you're trying to put the show together and do other things at the same time.
Drasbing has a nice ring to it.
It does, but Drabing has an even better ring because that's her name.
Who she subscribed under.
That's exactly right.
Well, okay. My apologies.
Yes. Okay. Janice Parker said, hell no, keep fighting. It's not over yet. In fact, more and more evidence is coming to light showing massive fraud.
Yep.
And she's right.
Bo Singleton said, for all those who are claiming there's no evidence, you need to watch a TV network that has actual news like Newsmax or OAN. The mainstream media is all part of the problem by not telling and showing you what is coming out. Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and Laura Ingraham over on Fox News are not scared to tell you the truth and show it to you. Open your eyes, people. If you're a Democrat, you should be ashamed of your party shenanigans.
Well, I just kind of telling it like it is, but
yes, sir.
We'll just kind of leave it right there.
That's it. Self-explanatory.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot of opinions here. Lots of opinions, and you folks deserve to be heard, and that's what this program's all about.
Every bit as much as the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Tom Richardson said, no, there is evidence. You just have to dig to find it, while so many are ignoring it. Democrats think if they ignore it, it's going to go away. But it's not. More people are coming out each day admitting their part in the fraud. And, you know, Tom, you are absolutely right.
That's a fact.
There are more and more affidavits, sworn affidavits being secured by the Trump legal team to people who have admitted to taking part in it. And if the judges can't see this or accept sworn affidavits under penalty of perjury, something's wrong.
That's right. They'll
stop and think about it.
They'll have a fat commissary card with all that ill-gained money that they got while they're in jail. But don't think for a second that Trump's boys don't have some shovels in hand doing that digging, because that's anytime he gets quiet.
I heard this morning that Trump's legal advisor that's heading up his legal team, Rudy Giuliani, who is the former mayor of New York City.
Got that cornholio, don't
he? He does, and he is in the hospital recovering.
Yeah.
I'll bet you they're pumping him full of the Trump juice, too.
Good old Trump juice.
As my brother said.
Yeah. Renee Deaver said no way he should concede. He won. It ain't over yet. Sherry Anderson, Glenda Hardy, and Billy J. Thomas agreed with her not to. So
yeah.
There you go.
Sandy Bennett Armistead said, no, it's not over. And as long as there is any chance at all of proving the fraud, he needs to keep fighting. We, the people, are not going to give up on our president.
Yep.
Sherry Briggs. Well said.
Yeah. Sherry Briggs Cone and Dina Lucero both said no to conceding. Connie Crenshaw said it ain't over till it's over. And Tammy Quick Kroll said no because he didn't lose. By God.
No.
So there.
Saying it like it is, I guess.
So there's a whole lot of people who's got a different idea on that, but they're wrong too. Well said, Sherry.
I guess the thing that's really bothering me the most, Pappy, is with all of this new evidence coming to light over and over and over, even videos taken at election bureaus the night of counting.
Yeah.
And some of these Democratic judges still will not let it go, those lawsuits to go forward.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes to me for some reason.
Well,
And I thought, I'm kind of like the guy that said it a little bit earlier. You know, it doesn't make sense, even if a judge is a Democrat, with all of this evidence, they're just as guilty as the Democrats if they don't look at it and stay to the letter of the law.
I don't think of key factors. I mean, operative words are letter of the law, but I mean, the law is so twisted around these days.
If you are accused of shooting somebody,
And I have.
and they have brought 3 people who say they saw you shoot this guy, okay, or girl, whatever the case may be.
25 years when I'm paroled, I'll be looking for those 3. I'll be accused 3 more times.
I'm just using that scenario, and they let you walk?
Well, yeah.
Think about it.
Goes
Think about it.
And that very same exact scenario goes on every day, that and even more. So, you know.
Yeah. Gary Allen Vaughn said, no, there's plenty of proof. Just think of the number of times that you've been speeding versus how many times you've been caught. There is more than enough proof to question the results being touted by the media.
Yeah.
That's a good observation, Gary.
There's a name I hadn't seen in a while, Sean Paul Rigg.
Yeah.
Sissy McCoy told Sean Paul Rigg, don't tell me anything about the election. No one is trying to steal anything. Quit listening to what everyone is telling you. Just because you support Trump, you think no one has a right to disagree with you.
Well, he had an answer for that coming up.
I bet he does.
And we know Sean, and he is about as American as you can get.
Yeah, he is a multiple-year special ops, special
He was
forces
a
kind of guy.
former CB
Yeah.
in the United States Navy.
Yeah, hell of a guy, too.
Yeah. Debbie Armstrong Lowe came back to Sissy to say, what gives you the right to disagree? Well, you're a Democrat. Oh, and we're supposed to believe everything you say. Enough said. We agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Now, that is a good way to disagree.
That's a fair way to fight.
That's a fair way to fight. Yeah.
Respect
Thank
each
you very
other's
much.
opinion, cast your vote, and walk away.
Debbie, thank you very much for keeping it simple.
Yeah. Ron Hanway says absolutely no. And my number 2 son, Jordan Terry, said hell no. And Leslin Murphy Pruitt, James Talley, and Robert Smith all said no to the concession. So I agree, guys.
Good Lord of mercy. What is your take on it, Special K? Anything to say over there? Or are you engrossed in something over there?
You've been a little too quiet this morning.
I'm not engrossed in anything. I'm watching the show so I can tell you guys what to do.
Somebody's got to.
We'd rather,
we'd
rather hear your
I
opinion.
think he should not concede at this point in time. I mean, we've watched plenty of evidence coming out, and if you're watching one-sided news, then you're not going to get all the facts. So it just depends.
Now, Trump came up with a new word instead of fake news, the suppressed media.
There you go.
That's politically correct.
I was listening to him give a speech in Georgia, and I was watching the video this morning. He said, man, there's a lot of people back there in the back. Oh, that's the fake news. Oh, excuse me, the suppressed media. And the crowd just went absolutely berserk.
Suppressed media.
I love that.
I will say that we do need to start concentrating on Georgia.
Yeah.
Those 2 races in that state is highly important as to
Who keeps the Senate?
who keeps the Senate and which way our America will look in a year or 4 years
Pretty
from now.
much all the swing
And wasn't
states,
that
yeah.
amazing that a Republican beat out a Democrat in the California race for the House of Representatives?
Yeah,
That was pretty interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Barely won, but she won.
Yeah, because it was a blue area.
Yeah. There's
And
been
she
a couple
won.
of them that have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just tells me, all the craziness with all the votes. How did so many Republicans win House seats and some Senate seats when, you know,
The president does it.
yeah,
Well, and that's not uncommon in an election. I mean, usually the swing votes in the House and the congressional votes and all that are a lot different than what we have out on the streets.
But as one editorial I read, which was kind of talking about what Special K was just talking about, he was saying that he was asking that same question. He said because most of the people who are voting Republicans into the Democrats' seats are switching and keeping the Republican side. So in his opinion, it doesn't make sense that all of these Republicans are taking over for Democratic seats in the House and the Senate, and the president didn't win.
Sucking hind tit, yeah.
Yeah,
So to speak.
It's just, you know, I agree with him. His name was Ron. I can't think of his name. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I'm ill.
You know, and it's things like that, amigo, that it just kind of,
It doesn't add up.
yeah, it just kind of pushes me that much further away from the due elected process of politicians, you know. Just hell, I think they're all crooked as hell myself. But
Well, I'm not so sure you're not correct there.
I would be if I was running for president. I like that money.
Yeah, that brings us up to another point. One of the questions on our Facebook page is, if you were president for a day, what would you do? I know it's hypothetical.
I like Brian Emerton's answer.
Play some golf.
No,
No, was that the other one?
round up all the Dems and
Oh, yeah.
get rid of their.
Yeah, that's true. But go on our Facebook page and comment on that. I'd like to see, and I know it's hypothetical and it's never going to happen and all this stuff, but in your wildest dreams, if you were by some special miracle was appointed president of the United States for one day, what would you do? Somebody said they'd spend a lot of time with Melania.
Must have been reading my mind.
Well, I'm not. I'm just going to cut it off right there. I'm not going to say
Stay
no.
home, play boss of the White House is what I do.
Yes, sir.
All right, where are we? Twyla Richards.
No, Ron.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Ron Hathaway said absolutely not. Well, yeah, Jordan
Oh,
Terry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, what
Twyla
do you-
Richards came back to say there's too much fraud. Absolutely do not concede. If truth be told, I'd bet my last dollar that President Trump has over 80 million votes.
I would not take that bet.
I can't understand why the House would lose Democratic seats and the president lost. Basement Biden with the greatest amount of votes in history? No way.
Well, he was innocent. He was busy chasing his dog naked out of the shower. So
And falling.
he broke his foot, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Christina Hoffman said no. Whether some people want to believe it or not, there's been a widespread cheating. The only way the Democrats could win this election is to cheat.
Cheat, cheat, cheat.
Looks like that's what they're doing.
Well, Sean Paul Rigg said to declare martial law and suspend the Constitution, have a new election under the watch of the military, and watch how big Trump wins. It's that or civil war, and I promise you, the left will lose for sure.
I'm very inclined to agree with you, Sean. Yeah.
This guy's got an armory you wouldn't believe.
He's got an armor you wouldn't believe.
That's what I'm talking about.
Lisa Seeley just simply said, I agree with what Sean Paul Rigg said. Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What he said.
What he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save me some words.
Yeah, breaking it up just a little bit. You see where Squiggy, who played the guy that played
He passed
Squiggy
away,
yeah. on Laverne and Shirley, passed away over the weekend.
70, what was he, 73?
73.
Yeah, I
That
read
he
that.
passed away of multiple sclerosis.
Oh, boy.
It was not coronavirus. So,
I bet that's what it says on his toe tag, though.
well, I don't know.
Oh, God.
I just find it hard to believe all these numbers, astronomical numbers, when John Peter Smith Hospital here in Fort Worth, who's the biggest hospital in Tarrant County and rated as one of the #1 hospitals in the United
It
States,
is number one for trauma. Yeah.
has 2 people in the corona ward.
We know this to be an exact fact
Yeah,
because
we won't tell you how.
we know people.
Yeah, we do know people,
We know
and
people, you know.
I will tell you that just gets me to scratching my head.
2 people.
2 people, and one of them was going home today.
Yeah.
After 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, so 2 people. Come on, where's all these astronomical numbers that Tarrant County is reporting? Where are they at?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of hospitals here, and I'm not saying that people are not sick with it. Don't get me wrong there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when I hear the John Peter Smith Hospital has only 2 patients, I just kind of scratch my head and go, really? Yeah. Why don't they take them to JPS? They got a heck of a huge wing set aside just for COVID.
Yeah. A lot of empty beds up
Yeah.
there. We'll take a couple of thousand of them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Kimberly Smith Hogg says, I think the whole election should be done over without massive mail-in ballots.
Amen.
I understand the ones in the military and maybe those who are disabled, but not everyone and his dog. Vote in person with a valid ID.
Yeah, you left out dead people, Kim.
It's really interesting here. I don't know if you were out there sitting with us Saturday night when the Southwest Airlines pilot that we know
I was, yeah.
was talking about. They are
K-Dub,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
They are talking about forcing everyone to get the coronavirus vaccine when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then before you can fly,
Yeah.
you have to show paperwork showing that you received this vaccine.
Well, that's international flights, I think he said.
No, all flights.
All of
Or
them?
you cannot get on a Southwest Airlines flight.
Ah, shit, I'll
Now,
drive.
it brings me up to another thing.
Yeah.
We have to fly, we have to show driver's license, ID, and all this stuff just to get through security.
With the gold star on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, why we have to show ID, all of this stuff, to get into a bar sometimes or get into this place or the other, show proof of your age and all this stuff. Why is it such a big deal to some people who are griping about having to show a legal ID when they vote?
You know what my old wise pappy would have told me? Because that's just the way
And he is a smart man.
You know what that means? Long story short, sperm whale, the biggest creature on the face of the earth, although it can swallow half this block of houses and chew them up and ingest them, it takes it days and days and days to ingest them because their mouth opening is only about that big around. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Do you know why that is?
Why is that?
Because that's just the way it is. Same shit. So,
Well, it's always really just upset me
it is.
that people get upset they have to show an ID.
All these
That leads me to believe something is not up on the up and up as far as the voting is concerned. And
it
I
makes
just
about as much sense as Walgreens asking for my ID when I go in for a pack of cigarettes.
I love the meme that I saw over the weekend. It says Joe Biden is being compared to Jesus Christ now for all of the dead people he rose so they could vote for him.
Resurrected those votes. You know it's fake because you can't walk on water with a broke foot.
What about that thing that was or a post that was on Facebook that was saying the greatest layoff letter?
Oh yeah,
That was hilarious.
that was terrific.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I
I'm
can
sure I laughed way too hard at
I
that.
can find that right quick because I know where it's at.
Okay, well, while you're looking, Kim Avery said, "No, are you kidding? There was so much fraud. I think they need to let each state cast one vote and decide." That's the 12th Amendment, by the way. There is no reason to vote again. They'll just do the same. By God, I bet if we've got military presence there, it won't be the same.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I do.
Should I continue?
And that is the yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mark Carrington said Dems forcing this fake BS on us along with fake news. One world order is coming ASAP. Agenda 21 has been planned for a long time. There are shady people everywhere.
Yes, there are. The letter that was posted was from a CEO to his employees. And it was titled, "This is the ultimate layoff letter to employees." It said, "Dear employees, as the CEO of this organization, I have resigned myself to the fact that Joe Biden is our president and that our taxes and government fees will increase in a big way. To compensate for these increases, our prices would have to increase by about 10%. But since we cannot increase our prices right now due to the dismal state of the economy, we will have to lay off 60 of our employees instead. This has really been bothering me since I believe we are family here, and I didn't know how to choose who would have to go. So, this is what I did. I walked through our parking lots and found 60 Biden-Harris bumper stickers on our employees' cars and have decided these folks will be the ones I let go. I can't think of a more fair way to approach this problem. They voted for the change, and I gave it to them."
By God.
I think that really was a joke, but
It
it's
is,
still
but it's
funny.
funny as hell.
I don't know. Kind of was hoping it was a true story.
All right, it's Randy Abbott said no because he didn't lose. Pamela Wright Graham said no. Mary Hannah Rose said no, and neither should we. If this is accepted, we are sitting ducks. And Tanya Vincent said no. He won the election. He'll be our president for the next 4 years.
We shall soon see.
We shall.
Daryl Stroyer said, hell no, it's time to declare martial law and get the commies out of our country. Janice Parker simply said it isn't over. More and more stealing is coming to light.
Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Castleberry says it doesn't matter if he concedes or not. Come January 20th, the nightmare ends. Joe Biden will be president, and then we will begin the process of indicting him and his family.
By God. Be a whole new world. I'm Jeffrey Castleberry. I wonder. Yeah, let us know where you're from, Jeffrey. I went to school with some Castleberries at Caprock High.
Mm-hmm.
Old Tommy and Terry.
Yeah, my first radio job in Paris, Texas, was a gentleman by the name of Roy Castleberry that taught me the ropes and taught me sports, how to broadcast it.
There you go. Bobby Bailey said, hell no. His case is going to the Supreme Court, and they're going to shut down this sham election.
Yep. Lee Weldon said no. I think he should follow General Flynn's recommendation, which whatever that is. And Lindsey Rogers Hardy just simply said no.
And Kim Avery said no. Are you kidding? There's so much fraud. We've got this. Hang on to your faith.
Bingo.
Keep your powder dry, too.
Big Matt Bannister said if he was to concede, it would tell the American people he's okay with what's been going on. If he doesn't, he's got a decent chance of overturning the election. However, the biggest part of not conceding is showing Americans to never give up and that the corruption of the media and the Democratic Party knows no bounds. In short, he shouldn't give up.
Which is exactly based on what America was built from.
Exactly.
You give up, you lose. Last but not least, Bradley Frierson said, should he concede? Absolutely. Does it matter? Not really. Did he lose the election? Absolutely. Does that matter? Absolutely. The people have spoken, and the long-standing American democratic process will prevail, as it always does.
Well, there's an opposite view from Bradley, and we appreciate that and
We
respect
do.
that.
By God, we shall see. I might even be willing to bet you beer on that one, Brad.
Anyway, however it goes.
Yeah.
However it goes.
Well, it'll all come out in the wash here.
Pappy,
too.
let's take a look at some of the viewer comments we got in right quickly. We had a lot of comments on our show that ask if you watch the Hallmark Christmas movies. Jerry Williamson said, well, no, but I have a friend that does, and he catches it from us every time we see him. Lots of laughs. And then Daryl Riddle said, about as often as I absolutely have to.
And amigo, my answer has not changed since that show. No. Thomas Reddy commented on our show that asked, would you fight if America went socialism? He said, hell yes, I would, and I wouldn't be the only one. There are too many Americans out there that love our country and our freedom.
Oh, yeah. You know what that deserves? A big old by God. Yes, sir. Mary Morgan watched our show, and if COVID changed your Thanksgiving plans with the family, she said most of your audience's opinions were just like my family. We had 23 gathered for Thanksgiving. Of course, the COVID was discussed, but we didn't let it ruin our holiday.
I bet they're all still alive and still talking about it, aren't they, Mary?
Yeah, we got all of our a lot in our family. How many do we have down there, Special K?
23. Wow.
Oh,
We had
18
or so.
19,
Yeah, nobody's sick.
I don't know.
Maribel
it's
got
been
to beat
over-
all the hell and back.
Going on 2 weeks now
Right.
since Thanksgiving.
We have a nurse that she doesn't work COVID floor, but she's in the hospital all the time at Harris Methodist, and she tested before she came, and she tested negative, so she came.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, turkey tastes bad or tastes better, and
I don't think anybody
it smells
complained
good,
about
too.
not being able to taste the turkey and dressing and all
smelled it
the
when
other
I
stuff.
pulled up in the driveway.
Yes,
by
sir.
God.
There you go.
And last but not least, Paul Morrison told us our segment on what happened to Hunter Biden was spot on. He said Dems intentionally rigged the election so the topic would shift away from Hunter Biden and his corrupt daddy Joe. It remains to be seen if the Senate Ethics Committee does anything to investigate.
By George, I agree with him. Just all of a sudden disappeared.
I don't think the election was rigged to hide young Joe. I think it was rigged to feed whoever in the hell's hunger is going on for New World Order. So because that's been talked about being done for years and years and years.
Well, we appreciate all of the opinions today.
Well, we
Again,
do.
thank you so
guys.
very, very much. We do
guys.
appreciate you so much for doing
Always
that.
willing to step up, and we love you for that.
And, there's lots of ways you can get your opinions into us. First
right.
of all, let's take a look at our Gmail account right over my shoulder here.
Yep.
Grandpa and Pappy
Yep.
at gmail.com.
By God.
Or
you hit us up directly on our show webpage, which can be found at www.grandpa and the letter N pappy.com. That's grandpaandpappy.com, where you'll see that red button. Push it, come up with a password, subscribe, leave comments, show topics, complaints, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around, whatever you want to leave on there. It's a show that's worked by numbers, and we appreciate all you subscribers, all you new people on board. Welcome. We're good. We're always happy to have you along with us. So,
and of course, you can always go on to the Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page.
that's a fact.
Where you can read a lot of these opinions
Unedited.
unedited before you it ever goes to air. So,
And by the way, I'll be making comments on your opinions after tomorrow, because I'm breaking out of Facebook jail tomorrow.
oh yeah, you can get the old orange jumpsuit washed again.
Put right back into the dry cleaners, man. Ready to hop back in next round. But, yeah, it's been a long 30 days.
And I'm happy to tell you we have a very few amount of T-shirts left.
We do.
If you want T-shirts like Julie there down in Houston, or
Yeah.
Robert here in Lake Worth,
Yep.
let's see who else we got. Brent and Lindsay Hardy out in Waxahachie, Texas. Lisa Seeley and
Back up Lisa there.
yeah, and we invite you to get a hold of my pappy over here.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you exactly how you can get your T-shirt. $20 is all you need, and
Save you
trust
some
me when
shipping.
I say that this guy likes to throw in extras.
That's right. I might throw one of my old stinky tennis shoes in the box with you.
Absolutely.
Might be worth some money one day, you know.
We hope you'll join us back on Wednesday for another edition of Grandpa and Pappy. Until then, we always tell you to hug your kids and let them know you love them.
Let them know the Grandpa and Pappy Show loves them too right here, by God.
Take care of yourself. Be
And
kind to
one
one
another.
another.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you back on Wednesday. Until then, have a great day.
See
and
you
we'll
in a
see
couple.
you then. Bye-bye.
Later.